Welcome back to Passionately Catholic. Today I want to share with you one of my absolute favorite miracles, Eucharistic miracles from the Church's history. Now, I have to admit to you, I am a total natural skeptic, okay? And I'm really excited about being Catholic, okay? But faith is not an easy thing for me. If I'm totally honest with you, it is very challenging as a skeptic, okay? And it's taken me a long time to be able to grow and allow God's grace to soften my heart in some areas where I thought that I was right, and God and religion are just absolutely foolish, okay? But one of the things that helped to soften my heart was to look at miracles, especially Eucharistic miracles really have a special place in my heart. Now, what's important to me in terms of miracles are miracles that are very well documented and that I can go, oh, this isn't just somebody's opinion or somebody had this vision or something like that, but something that's really well documented. So this may be my absolute favorite Eucharistic miracle. So this happened in Buenos Aires in 1996, and I'll basically paraphrase it for you. I mean, you can find all kinds of places online, great source material on this. If you want more details, I'll put maybe a link in the description to help you out on that one to find some good stuff. But here's basically the paraphrase, okay? So after Mass, there's somebody comes up and tells the priest that there's this desecrated host that had been put back on like a candle stand, a candelabra, and they had brought it back to the priest or told the priest about it, and the priest went and got it. So he takes it, and he's not able to consume it. So what we usually do is we put it in a glass of water, and he puts it in the tabernacle, right? So once it finally dissolves away, Lord's presence isn't there because the accidents, the appearances of bread are no longer present, so it's no longer the Eucharist, okay? No problem, right? So you do the same thing if you were distributing communion to somebody and they, spit it out or couldn't receive it. Maybe they're near death or something like that. Put it in a glass of water and you let it dissolve away. So they put it in the tabernacle. And then they notice that it starts to bleed and develops into you're thinking of a thin host, right? Like, okay, you take the host, you turn it sideways, a thin host, right? It starts to swell because it becomes a hunk of flesh. Okay, now this goes on for a while and there's not any serious investigation that goes on too soon. Maybe there's just some hesitation. Let's make sure that this thing is really legitimate and it's not just going to disappear. But after 3 years, by 1999, what they ended up doing to evaluate this Eucharistic miracle and to see how legit is this really Eucharistic miracle, what are we dealing with here? Is they take a piece of this host, which ends up being bloody flesh at this point, and they send it off all the way up to the United States, all the way up to New York City, and they send it to a forensic lab, okay, a really prestigious elite group of doctors and forensic pathologists who are there, and they take a look at this, right, and they don't know where this comes from. This is like double blind. They don't know where it's coming from, and they analyze it, and here's what they found. They found that this hunk of flesh came from the left ventricle of human heart tissue, okay? This is human tissue. The left ventricle, what's significant about that? That's the chamber of the heart that contracts to pump blood to the body, okay, to give life to the body, okay? I mean, you can even check out the blood type that they found is significant, AB, it's very rare blood type apparently. But anyway, they take this flesh and they're analyzing this, and here's some of the most fun stuff. They found that it was permeated with white blood cells. Now, what this told them that it had white blood cells present is that the body that this had been taken off of was very recently dead when this sample was taken, or even alive when this sample was taken, because within several minutes, apparently, the white blood cells will cease to survive, that they need the person to be alive to sustain the white blood cells. So the fact that there were white blood cells still present there suggests that it had not been a body that was dead for an extended period of time, because the white blood cells wouldn't have been able to hang around, apparently. Okay, so that's significant. Another thing is that the white blood cells were deeply permeated into the tissue of the flesh, which suggested to them that this person experienced extreme trauma, even blunt trauma to the heart tissue itself, that as if there was a chest had been beaten. Okay, now this is really, really incredible stuff. And then they shared with the physician, where this sample had come from. They said, well, this is 3-year-old tissue from a host from a Catholic church that had started to bleed and turned into a piece of flesh. And the physician had said, you know what, obviously, scientifically speaking, I can't explain this, but I stand by my assessment. This is what I saw, okay? And this is a forensic lab, so this is the kind of place where you would bring bring stuff, from crime scenes and stuff like that. Okay, so they're very able to make the determination that they did. I mean, this is the kind of stuff, brothers and sisters, that when I look at my Catholic faith, and yeah, there's times where I struggle in my faith and I have to pray, like in Scripture, Lord, I believe, but help my unbelief. I just can't get there 100% on my own. I need your grace, right? Eucharistic miracles are just so powerful. And sometimes people ask me, well, why aren't there any miracles anymore? Like there's the miracles from the Old Testament, like the parting of the Red Sea, or God gets the Israelites out of Egypt with the 10 plagues, and Jesus' miracles during his life and the healings that take place. You guys, there are miracles going on all the time, okay? And as Catholics, these are even well documented in the modern world. They're happening all the time. You see, when we canonize a new saint, okay, to become a saint, two miracles have to be worked through their intercession. One, they start out like a servant of God, and then they become a venerable. To go from venerable to a blessed, a miracle has to be worked through the person's intercession. And same thing to move up to the level of a saint. Another miracle needs to be worked, unless the Pope dispenses with, certain requirements in the canonization process. But there are saints being named in our Catholic Church all the time. So you could look up, pick your favorite saint from recent years and find out what are the miracles that led to their beatification. What are the miracles that led to their canonization? And a lot of times, these are medical miracles because those are easier to scientifically and medically document, but are completely inexplicable from the realm of science, that God's hand must be involved in the process. If this video was useful to you, go ahead and like and subscribe and comment and share this with others. I really look forward to continuing being in touch with you, and together may we all grow even more passionately Catholic. And I will see you again very soon.